Hey bestie, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Peace Deborah. This is a very interesting tutorial that you don't want to miss. Okay, this is a tutorial on how to make this beautiful gown you are watching currently on the screen. So I'm going to take you through from the sewing, the cutting, the sewing, everything, the tips that you need to know in sewing net, everything I'm going to be showing you on this video. If this is your first time on my channel, you are welcome. Please like, comment and share and subscribe, please. If you are a returning subscriber, I love you people so much. Thank you for always coming back. If this sounds very interesting to you and it's a video you've been looking for, let's just go straight into making it without wasting much of our time. Join me as we make it. Thank you. Yeah, welcome back to this class once again. So here are the materials we're going to be using for the style that you just watched on this screen. Okay, so this is crepe. I'm actually using crepe for this, for the upper part and for the small peplum. Okay, and I'm using net. So I have 5 yards of net, I have a yard of crepe, and I have a yard of lining as well. Okay, 5 yards of net, a yard of lining. I'm using cotton lining for this project. I'm using cotton line. I later look for half. So let me say I use 1.5. This is crinoline that we are going to be putting at the peplum of the gown. So I will go ahead and cut out the peplum first so that we can use the remaining one for the upper part of the dress, for the bodies. So here is a yard of that crepe, like I said. So I'm folding it into 2, and afterwards I'm going to fold it again into 4. So I first folded it into 2 and I folded it into 4 again. So I just fold it on top. So I'm going to go ahead to cut the peplum. The full length of the gown is 25. 25 minus 8 inches is going to give me 17. H is the half length. And the blouse length, okay, I'm using blouse length for this. So this peplum, I'm just going to use 8 inches. 8 plus 8 inches for the length of the peplum. 8 plus the circle, the radius. The radius I'm using is 5 inches. So 8 plus 5 is going to give me 13. So I'm going to mark 13 inches round the circle now. I'm going to take 13 inches. 13 inches is the length of the gown. I'm using 8 inches both for the allowance and everything. I'm using 8 inches. So that means, let me say I use 7 inches for the peplum, 1 plus 1 8 making 8, and plus 5 inches radius making 13. So I mark 13 first, then afterwards I'm marking the radius, which is 5 inches. I use 5 inches for the radius. To get the radius, divide whatever your waist circumference is by 6.28 and add any allowance you want to add. I put pleat at the back of this peplum, so that was why I used 5 inches. So I will go ahead and cut out this peplum now, and I'm cutting out the radius right now. I use 5 inches for this radius, don't forget that. So this is what I have, and I will slant. I'm going to open one side that will enter the zipper side. So I'm going to go ahead and cut lining the same way I cut this peplum. I'm going to cut lining as well. So I'm going to be using from that 1 yard of lining that I have. Okay, so I'm going to cut out the lining. I folded lining the same way I folded the fabric, and I place the peplum I cut, I place it on top of the lining, and I arrange it well. So I'm going to cut out the length of the lining. I'm still going to trim it. So I'm cutting out the length first, and I will cut out the radius as well. So I open one side of the peplum and I'm trimming it. I'm trimming 1 inch from the lining so that I can use it to turn in my fabric, the peplum fabric. So I will trim out 1 inch. It must be at least 1 inch shorter than the main fabric. Lining will 1 inch shorter than the main fabric. So that is what I'm doing here. So I have my fabric and my lining, and this is the crinoline. So I will take it to the sewing machine. I will add Airstay to this lining. I'm going to be putting Airstay on the lining. Okay, before I place it on top of the fabric, I'm talking about the peplum now. I'm placing it on top of the fabric, and I will put crinoline on top of it like that. First fabric, put the lining on top, and put crinoline at the top, and use it to sew around the peplum. So here we are going to be cutting out. We are just going to be using freehand. We are going to cut out on the fabric. Okay, so we are going to be cutting out the upper bodice which is half body. So we're going to be cutting out upper bodies. The length of the half length I'm working with is 8 inches. Here I mark 9 inches plus 1 inch sewing allowance. So the chest I'm working with is 5 inches. I mark 5 inches. 5 inches. I first mark 4.5, but later I change it to 5 inches. And the wideness of the neck is 2.5. Okay, so you can see I later extend it to be 5 inches instead of 4.5. She's 2 years plus. So I use 2.5 for the wideness, and I use 2.5 for the depth of the neck as well. So and I connected my lines together like so. 2.5 for the wideness and 2.5 for the depth. And I took the slope of the neck, the shoulder slope. I connected it to the neck width. Okay, and I took my armhole. My armhole is 5 inches. I'm not putting sleeve to this dress. Okay, so I'm using 5 inches for my armhole, and I marked it like so. Then I curve my armhole. So I'm putting in my chest. I'm using 7 inches for the chest here. Okay, I'm working with 22 inches. So plus sewing, after I divided it, plus sewing allowance, I use 7 inches. And at the hem line, I went up by 1 inch to cuff it. Like I used to say, if you have been following me on my kiddies wear, we don't normally put that on kiddies wear. So because of that, we are just going to give it a slight cuff at the end part. So I'm going to be cutting this out like so. And I will place it at the back and another fabric to cut out the back. But before doing that, I'm going to be taking the depth of my back neckline. Okay, I use 1.5 for the depth. So what I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to be placing it on another fabric like so. I folded another fabric. Okay, and I'm going to be placing this on top. I'm going to be placing my front on top of another fabric like so. You can see the way I exchange it. So I'm just going to leave, before that, I'm going to cut out the back neck depth that I took from the front so that it will be very easy for me to cut it out on the back. And I place 1 inch for the zipper allowance. So that is what I did. The same chest, the same weight, the same thing. Okay, I'm just trying to notch the zipper allowance. It's only the neck depth that is different. The same wideness of the neck, but the depth of the back is 1.5. You can use 1 inch for your own. So I will go ahead and cut out my front neck depth. I'm going to cut out my front neck depth, which is 2.5 that I use. Don't forget I use 2.5 for the depth of the front neck, and I use 1.5 for the depth of the back neck, but the wideness is 2.5, 2.5. So here are my cutouts. Here are my upper bodies. Okay, this is the back and front. I'm trying to place it. I'm going to be cutting out the same thing for the same crepe for the lining as well. Okay, I'm going to be cutting out the same crepe for the lining. So here is our nets. I'm going to be cutting out this net now. Okay, but before that, I'm going to trim it out to have a straight hem. Okay, so I'm trimming out to have a straight hem. I'm going to be cutting out 17 inches. Don't forget I say the length of our gown is 25. Okay, I later reduce it to be 23 inches. So the 8 inches minus 23 inches is going to give me 15. But I'm adding 2 inches to this net here, which is 17. So I'm going to be cutting out 17 inches. This is 5 years. I folded 5 years of net. I folded it in 5 years. And I'm cutting out, my length is 15. And I'm cutting out 17, 2 inches when allowed. I later trimmed it. You can actually leave it at that 15 inches or 16 inches. So I'm going to be cutting out 17 inches from these 5 years. This is one. So I have like 3 layers here. This is another one. And this is the third one. I have 3 layers here from the 5 years of net. I folded it in yardage. That 5 years, I folded it like that. Okay. And I cut it. I was able to get 3 layers from that 5 years. So I'm going to be placing it on top of each other. I will place the 3 layers on top of each other, and I'm going to gather it. Okay. I'm going to place it on top like that. That's the second one. Okay, so I'll place the third one on top of the two. Okay, I will place it like that. I hope we understand what I'm saying here. Okay, and I'll go and run the gather stitches on this. Okay, I'll go and run the gather stitches. I'm just trying to match the mouth correctly. I will run the gather stitches on it. So the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to be cutting out the skirt lining. Okay, the lining for these gathers we just cut now. I'm going to be cutting now. I said earlier that I'm using, you can use doll face for this, but I'm using this lining. Okay, I'm using fabric lining, or how will I call it? It's a cloth lining. I don't want it to be too heavy. So I'm going to cut out lining here, plus my radius. I use 4 inches for this radius here, plus my radius and the length. I'm cutting out 16 inches, plus the radius and the length. I'm cutting out 16 inches. The radius is 4. So I'm going to be cutting out 4 inches for the radius. Okay, and it will remain 4 inches. I'll be 14 inches for the length of the skirts here. Okay, I don't want it to be equal to the net, to the length of the net. Okay, like 2 inches shorter than the net. So I'm cutting out the radius already, which is 4 inches. Like I said, 4 inches for the radius. You can use doll face for this, but I'm actually using cotton lining. Thank you. I'm using cotton lining for this. Like, I don't want it to be too heavy, and the cotton lining is good for me. It's not ABBA lining, so I'm using cotton lining for this. So here are the fabric that we have. So being able to cut out this, I'll go ahead and put the Airstay on this. So here are the upper bodies. I've put the Airstay. I'm putting Airstay on the lining and on the fabric as well, because they are going to be carrying heavy load, so I don't want any dragging. So that is why I'm adding, and crepe is a little bit light, so I will go ahead and join the shoulder. I will join the shoulder of the shoulder to the shoulder of back and front together before I will place it on top to sew the neckline. So I will join the shoulder like that before I will now sew the neckline. So after I'm done with this, I will bring it and show us the next thing to do. So here is the belt. I have a belt here. Okay, I cut 4 inches on fold. Okay, 2 inches, 2.5 inches on fold, and I sew it by 25. I think 2.5 on fold by 25. So that's what I'm saying. After I join the shoulder, I'm going to sew the neck. You can see me here. I've joined the shoulder and I've placed it on top of each other, the main fabric and the lining. Don't forget, I'm using the same thing for both the lining and the main fabric. So I've turned out the neck, I've sewn the neck, and I've sewn the armhole. Okay, you have been following me on my kiddies wear. I normally do this a lot, so I don't want this video to be too long. So I will go ahead and bring out the back from the front. The way I input my hand, okay, I will just drag one of the back panels. I will bring it to the front like that. We have already closed the armhole, already closed the neckline. So there's no way you can have the turnout unless you bring it out from the front panel. So you can see what I'm doing. Just watch it. You can rewatch this place. It's not hard. So I'm just trying to pull it out from the shoulder. Okay, the shoulder is a little bit tiny. So you can see my hand. I input it and I drag it from that front. I was able to bring it out, to bring the back and the front out. So this is what I have. I've been able to bring all of them out. So they are the right side now. So I will go ahead and iron this. I'll give it a good press. I'm actually using generator right now, but I will manage my gas iron, okay, till the bring light. So this is what I have. I'm trying to arrange it properly. I will iron it before I will go and pick the circumferences. Okay, my chest circumference and my waist circumference. I'm going to pick it. I will take the measurements now. Okay, so I think I'm working with 22 inches, chest 22 and waist 22. So after here, I think I have 5 inches. So I'm going to divide 5 inches equal in between the two sides. That's 2.5, 2.5. 2.5, 2. If I want to put heat, because I'm adding belt today, so it's not necessarily it should be too tight. Belt will make it to be at least to be okay to be fitted on the body. So I can just leave the 0.5 for his allowance. So here is what I have. I've gone ahead to do that. I've ironed it and I've already picked my side with my circumference, my waist circumference and my chest circumference. And I normally do lining to lining, fabric to fabric. Okay, if you've been following me, this is what we do on this channel when we are sewing kiddies away, so that we can have a neat and perfect job. Okay, my inside is neat and my outside is neat. So this is what I will normally do, is lining to lining, fabric to fabric, and I'm not adding slip to this. So we have already closed the armhole from beginning. So here is the peplum that we join So this is the crinoline. Like I said earlier, I put hemming gum on that crinoline side so that it will give me a good finishing. So when they bring the light, when I have the light, I'm going to give it a good press, and I will show us after I have pressed it. But now I'm going to be sewing it directly to my fabric. I will sew the fabric, will go to the fabric, and the lining will go to the lining. So here I'm going to be placing the peplum first. The peplum will be the first layer that will go on the bodice. Okay, the peplum will be the first layer. Afterwards, I've gathered my net. You can see I've gathered the 3 layers of the net. So after the peplum first layer, I will put the gather that I gather, these 3-step gathers, this 3-step net that I gather. I'm going to be placing it on top of the peplum. It's going to be second layer. Okay, first layer peplum that will be on top of that bodice. First layer, it will be the peplum, and second layer is going to be the net. The net, the 3 layers net that we gathered is going to be the second layer. While the lining that we are using, if it is doll face that we are using, is going to be the third layer, okay, because it's going to be covering the net inside. Okay, the peplum first. Please don't sew it together with the lining. We are going to sew lining with the lining. So sew it with the fabric, only fabric. So I'll go ahead now and sew it like I explained just now. Remove your lining side when you are sewing this. The peplum first layer, the next second layer, and the lining third layer. I will go ahead and sew this and show us the next thing to do. So I've sewn it, guys. Here is the outcome of what we sew. Okay, so I've sewn the net, the peplum, so we can see the peplum is the first layer, the net, and the lining that we use is inside. Okay, so I've gone ahead to join the lining. Okay, this is the main fabric. Okay, so like I said earlier, lining will go to the lining, so I had to cut out like 14 inches lining to sew on the lining. Okay, I don't know whether we understand what I'm saying. Okay, this is the main fabric and this is the lining. I've gone ahead to join the lining to the lining. I use the same materials for the lining, but I want to put add net on this. Okay, I want to put add net on this. The length of this line that I put here, I just pleat the lining. I just cut a long straight of fabric like that. I think 60 inches. I just splitted it on top of that lining side. Okay, so now I want to put the add net on top of that lining. I will pleat it. You know, I've already pleated the lining, so I cut the add net to be 11 inches, and I will come down 1 inch from the joining side. I'm doing this on top of the lining. Okay, I will come down 1 inch from the joining side, and I will continue pleating my add net. Okay, you can use any length, depends on what you have. Okay, I think I have like 1.5 and I cut it into 2. So I will go ahead and do this now, and I'm going to put the zipper as well. I'm using invisible zipper, so I'm going to be fixing the zipper, and I will show us the look of the dress. Okay, guys, here we are. This is the final outcome of our dress that we are making. I put trimmings. Okay, I have that trimmings at home. I just put it at the waist area, so you can put any type of trimmings that you have, and you can leave it like that without adding trimming. So here is what we have. I've given it a good press. I've fixed the zipper and the add net, so it's looking very beautiful, very, very beautiful. It's just a simple dress that you can sew for your customer or for your baby girl at home. Thank you so much if you have watched to this level. Thank you. Please and please don't go without to subscribe. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share. So here I joined the net separately. You know, we have 3 layers of net, so I have to join it separately, join the net separately, join the skirt lining separately, so it will not be too bulky at the back. So thank you so much once again for watching. I love you people so much. Please and please support me by subscribing to this channel. It will go a long way for me, and please comment so that this video can attract new people, so that they can watch and learn, and you can send to your swim friend as well. Please and please, thank you for always coming back. Thank you for always supporting. I love you so much, and until I see you in my next video, bye.